Now, today we have with us Professor Dr. Sairam Bhat. So is the...
I am very conscious of the fact that I can't violate your human rights, which is the fundamental right to sleep. Friends, very quickly, I'll just say two things. Human rights are very important. Sometimes when you focus too much on human rights, what happens? Okay, so the topic that I was supposed to speak is human rights and environment. So I'll just quickly tell you a couple of things. Okay, I went very recently to a national park. Okay, and there was a very interesting signboard which said, "You are a trespasser here. There are no human rights here." Friends, interestingly, human rights vis-a-vis, say, the police, the state, is fine. But when it comes to human rights vis-a-vis animals, who do you think is winning? Who is winning between man and wild? So are human rights getting violated vis-a-vis, say, what we call as human-animal conflicts? Friends, post-COVID, the statistics are there to speak. A lot of human rights are getting violated by animals. Okay. Interestingly, if you note, in some states, a snake bite is considered as a man or human-animal conflict. If you go to certain temples, you'll have a lot of monkeys, all your friends. There may be bigger animals like elephants in the northeast or in other places. So human-animal conflicts have kind of increased for many reasons. For probably reasons of the fact that we have not allowed animals to be in their own nature or in their own environment. So what do animals do? They have to come out. Elephants require at least, for example, some of you go for walking in the evening. Maybe 5 kilometers is the maximum that you'll walk. You know how many kilometers an elephant would like to walk? Healthy elephants. They also like to walk in the evening. The minimum is 15 kilometers. So they have to come out of national parks, and sometimes they may come to places like Coorg or Madikeri in Karnataka. They may actually in one day, let me tell you, destroy a complete plantation just in one night. That's all possible. They can actually cause injury to cattle, livestock, and human beings as well. So this concept of violation of human rights by nature is actually increasing. Let me tell you, just a couple of days back, there was a flash flood in Sikkim. 22 army jawans are missing. Nature is winning. Your human rights are getting violated. Where is the compensation? What kind of right do people have who have lost their lives, property and livelihood due to environmental disasters? Joshimath for that matter. Where is the rehabilitation and resettlement plan? So human rights through environment has a huge dimension. Last. Really the last. You must be reading. Does he mean what he says? Yes. Friends, in environment, we have a process of saying, when you say human right to environment, we always say there is what is known as anthropocentric approach. Today, we are talking of human rights in environment in terms of an ecocentric approach. In an ecocentric approach, what happens is, you are not talking of environment only for human beings. Environment is there for all creatures, species and living beings. Just don't think environment is only for our needs. Environment should support the needs of all such creatures or animals. This is the only planet even they have, not only as what we have. So it is important that you balance the interest of what we call as animal rights. Friends, the Uttarakhand High Court in a case called Mohammed Salim versus the state decided to say that Ganga river can also have rights. They gave legal entity status to nature. In our culture, to be honest friends, nature has always been revered. That is the culture. That's why we used to name these things in the name of God and goddesses. Forest in many places, for example in Odisha, forest is considered as sacred. In Niyamgiri in Odisha, that hill called Niyamgiri had a god by name Niyam Raja. Kerala also we have the concept of a sacred code, in Karnataka also. Which means nature can also have rights, no? It's not only human rights. Nature should have rights, animals should have rights. And one of those eco-centric legislations that all of you must read is called the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act. Friends, we can use animals, sure, they are as a resource. But let's not commit cruelty on these animals. What kind of cruelty are we committing? I think we are doing a lot of cruelty. There is an interesting episode of a client of ours who was feeding stray dogs. Now, is feeding stray dogs a matter of concern? It can be nuisance sometimes, but please note, do stray dogs have the right to food? Yes, because the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act says no one should disturb someone from feeding stray dogs. Because they also have to live. Yeah, of course, we have to have something called dog management rules. Bangalore municipality has it. Don't ask me how much it is being implemented. But you can't do something called cruelty vis-a-vis, say, a bull race. You can't do cruelty vis-a-vis trying to, put a rope inside the nose of a cattle, in which the cattle starts to bleed. So there are so many such practices today that continue in India where we actually commit cruelty to animals. So friends, while we should all be concerned about our human rights, let's have some degree of responsibility towards other creatures' rights as well. Thank you very much.